All right, welcome to another Friday night episode of Keto Rocks. I'm Jim Hobbs, and to my left or right is my carnivore co-host, Brian Damaged Forsythe of Kix and Rhino Bucket. And speaking of Kix and Rhino Bucket, tell everybody about your trip out to Fargo, North Dakota. First of all, the pictures like you had a great turnout for the show, but I also know you went through some horrific travel nightmares to get there and to get back home. So I'll let you share how everything went, Brian.
Sure. Well, actually, it wasn't that horrific because I made it, and I've been through worse. So, uh, but yes, the crowd in Fargo, that was really it was nice. I mean, but the thing is, we were the opener, so you know
Really?
we can't really like I don't know how much of that we can claim, but yeah, it was a pleasant surprise. I mean, they were super responsive, and there was a lot of them. And I mean, we've done this that show before, but the last time it was in a different location. Uh, I'm trying to remember. There was like this big arena there, and they had it in a parking lot next to it the last time. And I remember we ended up getting rained out. I think we did like 20 minutes, and I had to stop. Oh, I know what it was. It was a tornado warning.
Oh,
So everybody had to just scatter.
right. Yeah.
But this time they had it at the fairgrounds, and it was with the bleachers, and it was inside the track there, and it was a much better location, much better stage, just all around a cool show. So I guess all the travel stuff was worth it. But the thing
Well,
about
what did
that,
you have? Let's talk about, what you have, what was catered to you? What did you get to eat while you were there at that venue, since it was a fair?
well, those things are always, it's like kind of vague. You never know what you're walking into. So I made sure I ate before I went, but what are, I'm trying to remember. I think it was the weekend of double cheeseburgers.
Okay.
But they
You
didn't
had
have
salmon. You had salmon one night. Which one was that? Was that
that.
there?
Yeah, that was the catering. The only meat they had was chicken. They had chicken and salmon and some kind of white fish. I forget what the fish was, but salmon was good. And they had,
Good.
I went to the salad bar and stole all the hard-boiled eggs because they had those. But they had when we first got there, it was it was afternoon, and they didn't have the meal stuff out yet, but they had all these snacks, and they were just like nothing. I mean, they had packs of nuts, and they had everything they had was stuff I can't eat.
Right.
But even the nuts were nut mixes, and they all had canola oil or sunflower seed oil, or everything had something in it that was just like a big no.
Right.
But I made sure I ate before I got there, so I wasn't like dying or anything. But they did have real butter though.
Well, that's good.
They had a big thing of butter in the cooler, so I got my coffee and scooped off a big chunk of butter and threw it in there.
There you go. There you go.
That was
What was the attendance? I mean, how big was that stadium? The whole, was it
what?
5,000, 10,000?
Oh no, it wasn't that big, but I don't know. I don't really know the official number. I haven't heard anyway. Half the time we never find out.
I'm
But
sure. Now tell everybody what it takes, because people don't realize what you go through to get to a show. So just walk people through, like, how much time that you guys put in travel to get there to do it. How long did you guys play for? 45 minutes? Was it a 45-minute set?
that was an hour.
Hour? Okay, an hour set. So for that 1 hour set, how much travel time, traveling? How long did it take you guys to get there and then you get back home?
Well, hopefully this my gardener's out there doing the.
Tell Dr. Steve to leave your bushes alone.
Can you hear the leaf
Yeah, oh
blower?
yeah.
uh, okay. Well, anyway, since this was Fargo, let me close that door. Hang on a second.
Okay.
It's better. I forgot I had the porch door open for Smokey. Hopefully she's not out
Okay.
there. Uh, yeah, so it's Fargo, and Southwest doesn't fly there, and is we pretty much fly Southwest unless we have to. Like when we went to Dickinson, we had to take United, I think. Yeah, it was United, but it's always a last resort. But because Southwest, you get 2 free check bags and all that stuff, and we carry a bunch of cases. I think there's 12 cases altogether with gear. So it pays to take or it saves money to take Southwest because you don't have to pay for all the check stuff. So anyway, that being said, we had to fly into Minneapolis and then drive to Fargo. So that's like a 3.5 hour drive. So we had to rent 2 minivans, and so it's 3.5 hours there, and we play. And I don't know if anyone. I mean, I'm sure people probably know. You know, when you do a show, it's like there's sound check, there's like all kinds of stuff. It's an all day thing.
Right.
And then the next day we had to jump in the minivans in the morning and head back to Minneapolis to catch our flights back. And by the time I got to the airport, oh, and the flight back, I couldn't get because I have to coordinate it with those guys too, because we're all driving together.
Right.
So I try to book flights that are close to their time, you know, so I don't have to be there extra early or
You're waiting around all day either.
yeah, or sit around at the airport waiting for my flight. So I couldn't get a direct flight. I think the only direct flight was 8 a.m. the next morning, and it's like, wow, that would mean I'd have to leave at whatever, 3.5 hours, or no, 5.5 hours
Yeah.
for that. So the only flight back that I could get was the same flight they were on. So I basically would be flying to Baltimore, and then from Baltimore to Nashville. So Baltimore would be my connection. So by the time I got to the airport, I find out that my connection was canceled. I'm like, okay, so I can't take that flight. So I had to scramble and book another flight. So they put me on an Orlando flight, like to go to Orlando and then Nashville. And then that flight got delayed. And I'm thinking, how am I going to make hopefully I'll make. Oh, first of all, that Baltimore flight, before they canceled it, they delayed it twice. They delayed our first half.
Departure. Right.
It was like I wouldn't have made the connection anyway. Like it was just a crazy day. So I get to Orlando and it seems like everybody's flight was delayed and the place was like a zoo. I mean, it was so packed with people. It was like
Like a bunch of ants running around.
well, you know how ants are very organized. They have their pathways, but if you disturb them, they just start going everywhere.
Right.
That's how that airport was. It was like ants that had been disturbed. So
At this point, have you had any food yet?
no, and that day because of we got there to check into the flight, and there was plenty of time we could have gotten some food, but then I had to scramble to try to find a new flight, and then to top it off, I left my phone in the rent a car and I had to run back out there, and
Oh,
I
I've
had
done that.
and I had just enough time to jump into security and get through because it was a earlier flight. So I had to run out to the rent a car place, get my phone back, luckily, and then just beeline it straight through security. So I just made my flight, and then when I get to Orlando, I'm like hungry by that point. But luckily, I had a couple of those chomps. Have you seen those chomps meat sticks?
No. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I think I ate them all, but I had a couple of those stashed in my guitar case, so that saved me till I got to Orlando. And then I get off the plane, I start walking around. All they had was like McDonald's, Chipotle, like all that just bad food. So I thought, well, I'll go to the. Oh, and then they had these little fresh market type places where you can go buy stuff, but they were all closed.
Well, that's too bad.
So they had one Hudson News place that was open, and I thought, well, let me check. Maybe they'll have eggs. And luckily, they had the hard-boiled eggs, but the line was out the door and down the concourse. I mean, it was people were panicking over food in there.
Wow.
They were in
So
like
the food shortage in Orlando. So if you guys are traveling through Orlando, bring your own snacks.
yeah, it was crazy. So anyway, I ended up eating six hard-boiled eggs. And then I have to confess, I ate those and I just wasn't satisfied. I'm like, oh man, like that can't be it. So I wandered back through the little food court just thinking, is there something I can do? And I actually ended up going to McDonald's and buying a double quarter pounder with cheese and I had bacon added to it with no bun.
Yeah, of
So it was
course.
just a
Yeah.
burger, nothing on it.
Now,
And
how much is the double quarter pounder with bacon at McDonald's with no bun cost these days? Because meat's expensive. Is it like $7, $8, $10? How much did that cost?
that's a good question. You know what? I can't remember. I'd have to look because I did use my debit card, but that satisfied me, so that was good. But I felt guilty eating at McDonald's.
That's okay. I mean, as long as you can, that's the beauty of being able to, they throw away the bun, just give me the meat and bacon. And there's nothing wrong with that, as long as they don't cook their hamburgers and seed oil or fry them in seed oil either.
Yeah, which is, I wonder about that because a little bit later, I ended up with like this slight headache, and I'm thinking, I wonder if there was something weird with that. But maybe it's just my mind.
Well, Chipotle's usually good. I usually get the avocado and steak um, at Chipotle, um, and that's good. So
So they have other things besides burritos?
oh yeah. You can get they have a carb friendly menu.
Oh, because
Uh,
I've never, I ate at Chipotle once, probably 10, 15 years ago.
yeah, they have a carb friendly menu. They'll put just romaine lettuce and steaks, just steak. Um, as a meal you get, or just with avocado and steak. So that's what I love to get. It's expensive, but it's good. I mean, when you're in a pinch to eat something. So,
Huh, I have to remember that. Yeah,
but
the last,
Five Guys burgers are my favorite. I mean, they big old burgers and are wrapped in a lettuce. They have carb. Oh my gosh, they're delicious.
yeah, they have those down here, the Five Guys. In fact, when I was with my realtor, when I was looking for my house, that one day we stopped in at one of those places, and he had the burgers and the fries and all that junk, and I'm just eating burger patties.
Yeah, they got the wrap with the romaine lettuce, and it's delicious. I love their burgers because they're big, they're fresh, and they're delicious. Especially when they get the mayo. The problem the mayo that you get from them is probably not seed oil friendly or
Right.
free of seed oil. So
Yeah.
that's the problem.
Yeah. I have never seen a mayonnaise that was seed oil. Well, except for the what you call it.
I get the nutrition stuff. We got the avo mayo is what we get.
Right. The Primal Kitchen stuff is good
Yeah,
too.
we get. Hold on a second. I'm gonna go. Let me pull it up so people know what I'm talking about. I'll be right back. So I don't know. Oh, hold on. Let me take the background out so you can see it.
Okay. Yeah, here's
And
mine.
yep, same. So yeah, so it's 100% avocado oil based classic mayo. It has avocado oil, filtered water, egg yolks, organic whole eggs, organic distilled white vinegar, organic mustard, distilled organic vinegar, organic mustard seeds, salt, organic spices, salt, organic rosemary, and egg. That's it.
Wow, I didn't know mayonnaise had mustard in it. Yeah, this has avocado oil, organic eggs, organic egg yolks. organic vinegar, sea salt, organic rosemary extract, and that's it.
Yep. And total, let's see, total carbs is 0.
That's probably, yeah, that's pretty much the same as this label.
Yep. Where's yours distributed by? But this is out of San Diego, California.
Oxnard.
Oxnard. Okay. We switch back. Magically transported back to the keto kitchen.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
getting back to what we were
continue on
talking.
from your trip. Yes.
Well,
So
I was gonna say, so people don't realize, we play an hour, and it's just like 3 days of just, you know, stuff it takes to get to that 1 hour. But yeah, so finally, and my flight came and I got back, and I I think I put a post on Facebook. When I got home, my power was off.
and what time did you walk through the door of the
I posted 1 o'clock, but I think it was midnight because my Fitbit didn't sync, so it was still on East Coast time. But yeah, so it was around midnight, and it was pitch black in here. I couldn't even find my cat because she's black. But that was like, oh man. But it was kind of cool because it forced me to just pretty much get my stuff in here and then just pretty much go to bed, which I needed to
right.
do. But the power ended up coming on like 2 in the morning.
So was it hot? Because how long had it been out? Had the humidity kicked in your house? I mean, was it hot, or was it still pretty cool?
No, actually, my house is pretty good at maintaining temperature. I checked the thermostat before I went to bed, and during the day I leave it like at 73 or so, and that's exactly what the temperature was in the house. So
Okay, so it was fine. So
yeah,
where are you guys playing this week? Brian?
Charlotte on Saturday. So we're Charlotte. What is that place called? Amos's South End is the name of the venue. And then next week, I mean, it goes straight from Charlotte. Then next, what is it, Tuesday? We play the York Fair, and then the next weekend we're the York Fair, and then we're at the State Theater, and then the Beacon Theater.
So are you going to stay up here, or are you coming back after your Tuesday show? Are you just staying up in the area for Friday, Saturday?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, and then you guys are just nonstop after that, right? You're booked almost all the way up to Christmas.
Besides the keto retreat, yeah, every weekend.
Wow, that's good. So
Yeah,
what have you had
I was going to
go
say,
ahead.
last night I was on a flight booking frenzy trying to book all my flights. I got them all booked through. There's one more show at the end of September I haven't booked a flight for, but I've got everything else booked.
Now, I saw you guys are playing at some is it Charlotte? Where's the Tomato Festival? I saw something where you guys were playing.
That's in Ohio.
Okay.
It's right near was it near Columbus?
So is that something that you guys recently booked, or is that something that was just been in the works?
No, that actually came up in the last few weeks, I think. Yeah, it's like a kind of a last minute thing that popped up, but yeah, that'll be interesting.
So you had a nonstop weekend. You get home, power is out, you get to your house, and I'm figuring, your leave's going to take a day just to recuperate from that travel and plan. And then I see you're off to see ZZ Top.
Yeah.
So so
Um,
how did that come about? How'd you like the show?
oh, it was well, first of all, I got to say the venue there was really nice. But the crazy thing was uh well, I got up and I was planning on smoking that chuck roast that I had. So I put it on the smoker and I started a batch of bone broth and and I'm just gonna have an easy Sunday. And then my friend Tony Higbee calls me, the guitar player from Tom Kiefer's band, and he goes, "Hey, his girlfriend was working the show. She does production for these things." And he goes, "You want to ride along? I'm gonna go see ZZ Top." And I'm like, "Oh, I'd love to." And then I'm like, oh, "What am I gonna do with my chuck roast?" But it worked out. I ended up taking it out and sticking it in the oven. But uh, yeah, it was. Oh, and then it was right when we were getting ready to leave. The skies were starting to get dark and storms were coming in, and but when we hit the Kentucky border, it all cleared out and it was beautiful up there. It was Louisville, and yeah, it was perfect weather for an outdoor concert. And this is like a small amphitheater. It's called the Iroquois. It's a really cool place. Um, but as far as ZZ Top goes, I've seen them, several times, and we opened for them a couple times. They were a little bit loose the other night. I mean, it was still enjoyable, and I
Right.
had a great time, but they've been better. Like if
Well, they have to be Billy Gibbons. They got to be what in their mid 70s
early set, they're 71.
or
I think they're all around the same age. The drummer might be 72, but um, I felt bad for Tony Higbee and Ace. Both those guys, it was their first time seeing ZZ Top, and I'm like, oh man, I wish you could have seen them in their heyday. Not that I did, but yeah, earlier on they were much more happening. In fact, Dusty Hill had sprained his ankle, so they had him sitting on like this thing, this big couch-looking thing, the whole show. So he was just,
uh
which was a bummer because I don't know if you've ever seen them, but
I have.
yeah, they're choreographed. You know, they
Oh yeah,
they
they do the guitar stuff. They do all the stuff
yeah
on their videos, the guitars. Yeah,
yeah, like they'll be singing straight ahead, and then they'll both flip their necks over on the other side of the mic stand, just like little moves like that. It's just so cool. Or they'll get together and just do the thing together, and they couldn't do any of that stuff the other night. So it was pretty much Billy Gibbons fronting the band, but
right.
he was Billy is still entertaining no matter what.
No, one of the best. I remember one of my memories is I went to see Cheap Trick opened up for ZZ Top at the Nissan Pavilion the night that Mike Tyson bit Evander Holyfield's ear. And the reason why I know that, Stepanik and I went to that concert. Then we came back to my place and had some other friends there to watch the fight. And then that happened. It was just like one of those memorable nights. Like the concert was great. Cheap Trick was good. ZZ Top was really good. And then to come home for that fight, to see that with friends, and that memorable bit of history or in boxing lore, to witness that, it was a wild night. But yeah, but ZZ Top was they were very, very good with
Yeah,
their dance moves and their swinging their guitars, and it was good. That was the first time I had saw them, so they were good.
yeah, yeah. Well, Billy Gibbons is
You-
one of my top influences.
right now, the venue itself, where I saw you had a double cheeseburger, was that at the venue itself, or was that prior? Was that before the concert or after the concert?
No, that was across the street. There was a place that because everybody was hungry, and I actually ate earlier just to make sure that I was covered. But what did I have earlier? Because my chuck roast wasn't done cooking, so I had to. Oh, it's that leftover. That leftover. It was the New York strip roast that I made like last week. I still had a chunk of that in there, so I just sliced it up and ate it with some cheese before I left. So, so there was another
Yeah.
bacon burger there, and that was
Wow. So do you got any projects this week? You're gonna work on anything this? I know I saw your bone broth. You bottled quite a bit of bone broth this week or Sunday.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I got the full batch of bone broth. I'm not gonna do. I don't think I'm gonna do any projects because I've only got a few days before I gotta take off again. But
All right, is that time of the evening where we get a chance to tune in to Mr. Brian Schenker of the MeatTribe, where he's going to give us this week's meat deals of the week. So, Brian, what do we got?
Hey guys, how are you doing?
Good.
Good.
By the way, I'll let you know I did buy your New York strips from Giant. I bought them, but I was never a New York strip fan, but I bought them because they were on sale. But I got to stick to ribeyes. The strips just does not do it for me.
Yeah, I understand that. Did it have a lot of good marbling, or
Not really. I mean,
Okay.
I picked the best 6 out of the bunch, and I even sous vide them, and then I sous vide 3 of them. No, 4. I bought 8. I sous vide 4 of them, and just finished them on the griddle, and then I did to the other 4. I smoked them on the Traeger, and then finished them on the griddle, and they came out a little bit better, but it's still not a ribeye.
Yeah, it's hard to replace a ribeye. It really is. You have to be in the mood for something else, you know.
So I'm hoping you have ribeye special on this week.
What's that?
I said ribeye specials this week.
I do have one ribeye special that I'm telling you about, and I think there might be a couple of more on the full update.
Okay.
Awesome.
I will tune into you then.
All right, great. All right, so getting started, Food Lion, they've got some 80% lean ground chuck for $2.99 a pound. And Food Lion also has some choice grade boneless beef chuck roast for $5.99 a pound. Both of those deals run through the 27th of July. Harris Teeter has a choice grade boneless New York strip steak or a steakhouse roast at $9.99 a pound. And that's going to save you $2 off their regular price. And another deal at Harris Teeter, this price is going to be per package. They've got a Strauss grass-fed ribeye steak. So there's your ribeye deal at $9.99 a pound. That's $3 per pound off the regular price. And that's a prepackaged single steak. So $9.99 per steak. Brian's store down there in Tennessee, and they've got them other locations, Kroger. They've got a choice grade boneless ribeye steak as well, $12.99 a pound.
Oh.
So a little bit more expensive. Kroger also has a chuck roast or chuck steaks for $5.99 a pound. And then Giant Eagle has choice grade bone-in, T-bone, and porterhouse steaks. The Giant Eagle deal doesn't start until the 22nd of July and runs through the 28th. All those other deals run through the 27th. But so those are all the deals that I got for you today. But I wanted to ask Brian, get some information from Brian. I texted him a little bit, or maybe it was on Facebook, but I saw a picture that he posted of a chuck roast that he prepared. And man, did that look delicious. And it took me back to the days when my dad would make a pot roast. Brian, can you give me some tips on that? Because it looked so good. What did you do to prep it and season it?
Yeah, it was good. I basically do it the same as a brisket, like a mini brisket. But I did season it a little bit different. Because normally what I do, I start with that Redmond Real Salt garlic pepper blend, which is just pepper, salt, garlic, and onion powder. And that's like the base. And then I add smoked paprika to that. And then to this particular, the chuck roast, just to experiment, I added some coffee grounds, coffee, and a little bit of cacao powder.
Okay. And then how long, how long do you cook? Well, I guess what temperature do you set your smoker at? And then how long do you cook it, or what temperature do you try to hit?
Yeah, it's low and slow, like 225, and I just let it go until the internal temperature hits like 165, and then I wrap it, and I throw it back in and let it go until it gets to 203. But you know what's weird about this one? I was partway through, and then this friend of mine texted me about going to that ZZ Top show I went to last week, and he wanted to leave like 4 in the afternoon, and I'm like, oh man, it's not going to be done. Like, what am I going to do with my meat? So I took it off the smoker and just put it in the oven. I put the oven on 225 and just stuck it in there and then left. And I came back later that night and it was just perfect. But I couldn't eat it then, but I put it away for the next day. But so it just sat there at that temperature like half the night.
Oh, wow.
And it was still good.
Okay. So
Was it dried out or anything, Brian?
No, it was so juicy and moist and yeah, I had so much. It was so good. I just can't get over how well that turned out.
Now, how did the call? Go ahead. I'll go ahead, Brian. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Schenker.
So the internal temperature ended up probably getting to the 225 then, correct? So way above your 203.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. But 203 it was the goal.
Okay.
But it turns out it's just like what they call it, the poor man's brisket.
Right.
Because it's super cheap.
The reason I was asking you is because I saw these two chuck roast deals, and I don't have a smoker, unfortunately, so I was going to do it in my oven. So I checked my oven last night, and the lowest temperature my oven will go is 170. So I'm covered there. I can get it to 225, and then I've got a ThermoWorks probe, meat temp probe, so I'll be able to control the temperature. So where do you get butcher paper?
Well, I wrapped it in foil.
Oh, foil. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know a lot of people wrap in butcher paper, and I was like, I don't even know where to go get that.
You can get it at like Lowe's or Home Depot. They sell them in the grilling section. They sell the butcher paper. That's where I buy mine. I buy mine at Lowe's.
Yeah, I got mine on Amazon. I got the pink paper.
Okay.
It's funny you mentioned that because I think I had been planning on wrapping it in paper, but I don't know what happened. I guess I forgot. I just wrapped it in foil, but it worked. So.
All right. Well, I'm definitely going to run out there and get one of those this week and try that. That's awesome. So have you done a video? I know you've done brisket videos. Have you done a video for the chuck roast?
I think I did. I'll have to go back and look because that's a good question.
Yeah, because you're right. They refer to it as the poor man's brisket, which looking for a good deal. So I'm definitely going to try that one.
Well, that one's a chuck roast is perfect for somebody like me because I'm cooking for myself, and a brisket,
yeah,
lasts me a month. but a chuck roast, I can eat that in 2 days, no problem.
So when you make a brisket, like you're saying, there's so much of it. What do you do? Slice it up and freeze it in single portions, or?
Yeah, usually I won't even slice it up. I'll eat what I can for the first couple days, and then I'll just cut it into chunks, like single serving chunks, and then and freeze it.
Cool. Gotcha. All right. Well, that's all for this week. Be sure to head on over to my YouTube channel, MeatTribe. It's all one word. Got a more extensive weekly deal on there. When you get there, make sure to like the videos, subscribe to the channel. And that way you'll get notified every time I upload a new video. And if you come across any deals, put them down in the comments section below. And also in the description of my videos on the YouTube channel, there is a link to the MeatTribe apparel store. So go out there and get yourself some MeatTribe apparel. Got all kinds of stuff there for you. Talk to you guys next week.
All right. Take care, Brian. We'll see you.
Yeah.
Have a good one. Bye.
All right. We'll see you.
I did make a Costco run, and that was expensive, but I got a bunch of meat.
What'd you get? Anything you can show us?
Yeah, I put some stuff directly in the freezer downstairs, so I can't show you that. But another chuck. This stuff I haven't wrapped to freeze yet. Chuck roast.
Now you'll cook that whole thing just by itself? I mean, just like a brisket?
It's in two parts. So last time I just wrapped them separately. So one of these is like perfect for me. So I could do two, or I could do both of them at the same time. But check out the marbling on that. It's really nice.
Looks great. Now, what's the price per pound for chuck roast at Costco?
It is $6.49 a pound.
Okay.
Which is not bad for meat. And then I got 2 packs of these things, ribeyes. And
yes, they are good. Now, what are they? $15.99 or $16.99 a pound? What are those going for?
These are actually expensive. $15.99 a pound.
Yeah, I was gonna say ribeyes are. I paid $15.99 yesterday for ribeyes.
And then I got some. Oh, that's my refrigerator telling me to shut the door.
Yeah.
Lamb loin chops, which I love. Have you ever had those?
No, you know what? I'm going to make a request. When we go shopping for keto retreats, let's buy some of that. I'm going to let you cook those at the retreat because I've never had them.
Oh man, they are so, because they're like little thick like mini steaks, and then I got some pork belly.
Oh, that's good.
And what else did I get?
You can buy brisket.
No, they had them there, and I was looking at them, but I have 2 of them already in the basement. So in the basement freezer. Sorry. Yeah, I have 2 briskets down there already, and it's like, I don't need another brisket. That's when I grabbed the chuck roast. I saw that next to it, and I go, I'll just take this instead, because those are perfect for me.
I'm going to buy a chuck roast this week. I'd go back and look at the MeatTribe channel to find out what store it was that had them on sale, and I'm going to go buy myself a chuck roast this week, and I'm going to do just like you said. I'm going to smoke it like a brisket.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. I can't get over how good that was.
So the coffee grinds, did that bring any flavor out? I mean, I know you experimented with it, but what did it do for you?
It's very subtle. It's not like you can't really. It just adds to the bark. It creates a really nice bark, actually. I mean, the way I normally do it, there's always a little bit of a bark, but that kind of, it just enhanced it. I'm sure you saw the photos of it.
Yeah, it looked delicious. It looked delicious, and I want to. That's gonna be my next. Well, no, my next project is gonna be in about 30 minutes. I'm gonna do start sous vide some ribeyes, and then I'll throw them on the griddle this afternoon.
I know I wanted to eat one of those steaks today, but my guy is out there. He's redoing all my the mulch beds around my house, so he's probably gonna be out there for a while. I don't want to take my smoker out there while he's working.
Yeah. Well, what else is in the works this week? Anything? What time do you fly out? You fly out Friday for this gig for Saturday?
Yeah. This is one of, in Charlotte. It's a nice short flight, but flights are weird these days. I'm having a problem getting the flight that I want in certain situations. Like this one with Charlotte, I would have preferred to fly in late Friday, get up, do the show, and then fly out early on Sunday.
Right.
But there were no direct flights, like late and then early. It's earlier and late. So I have to fly in early on Friday and then late on Sunday. So it's a lot of wasted time.
Right. Well, it won't be wasted if you bring the manuscript to the book and spend some time in those rocking chairs there at the Charlotte airport and just go through it with your sticky pointers.
Yes. Yeah, I've been throwing it in my suitcase.
That's a start.
I always think I'm going to have more time than I really do, because I already have people requesting time. So, yeah, I'm supposed to meet somebody on the day of the show before sound check, and then the day after I've got another friend that's meeting me, and now I've got another person requesting something else on the day before. So I don't know, we'll see.
Well, we wish you the best. Hopefully your travels this weekend will be better than they were last weekend, and hopefully the show will be just as equally as good as well.
Oh, it will be. It always turns. You know, in the long run, everything's good.
Yeah, there you go. That's the positive attitude. And with that being said, that it's good, Brian, what bit of advice would you give someone if they're turning in, watching this for the first time, going, what bit of advice would you give that person to make sure that they're living the best life they could be living?
I would say eat your meat.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys next Friday, same time, same place. And next week, we have none other than Steve Whiteman joining with us. So we'll see you guys next Friday. Take care.
Yeah.